Hello, my name is Teacher Evelyn and I work for VIPKid. I saw on Facebook that one teacher mentioned a possible common problem among VIPKid teachers, especially maybe your first year with VIPKid. The teacher said, "Hey, I'm struggling with having this job of VIPKid consuming my whole life and taking, student ITs personally and taking Apple reviews personally and looking at the cell phone app too often. It's becoming an obsession. It's becoming a problem." And a lot of people commented, "Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too." So since I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I am a veteran teacher, and I feel like I've gotten past that hump of having it consume my life, right? Because I've discovered with everything, just like with every job, with life, that there's a balance, right? And I wanted to talk about that with you because you might be in your first month of VIPKid, you might be in your first 6 months, you might be struggling with this, you might be totally consumed by the job several years in. I don't know. We'll see. Now, keep in mind that there is a healthy balance because classroom teachers, for example, who work full time, their job fully consumes their lives. Even on weekends, they're grading papers. Even in the evenings, they're still at work. Early in the morning, they're at work. In the summertime, they're preparing their classroom. It's just an all-consuming job being a classroom teacher. But being a part-time, work from home VIPKid teacher should not consume all day and weekend of your life, right? Obviously, it's going to consume pieces and parts. One thing I would say is don't check the cell phone app a million times a day. It's not going to have that many updates. During the day for us is night for them. You're not going to have booking during the day. You don't need to check it a million times. Check it the morning after Frenzy. Check it when it's time for class, first thing in the morning to double check your classes for the day. Another thing is preparation. When you're brand new with VIPKid, it's going to take a while to get used to the curriculum, to prepare your props, to get them ready. But once you get into the swing of things, get a handle on the timing, get a handle on the props, organize your classroom in a way that you can grab your props and you can grab and teach. For example, if I see that I'm going to be teaching a class about Italy, I know which props I need. The upper levels don't need as many props. You might just need a whiteboard. You could be a prop minimalist. You could be a 2D prop queen or a 3D prop queen. I'm definitely a 3D prop queen. But I've got my props organized where I can grab and go. I see what's my class in 2 minutes is farm animals, right? Not right now, but as an example. I can grab my little box of farm animals and I'm ready to go. I have all the animals right there for that lesson. If I see that the lesson's going to be about aquatic animals, I have my little box of aquatic animals right there. So ready to go. So I have a little drawer of plastic food. If I see I'm going to be teaching about fruits and vegetables, I just grab some fruits and vegetables and put them on my desk. And it only takes less than a minute. So you don't need to prepare hours and hours for your classes. You just have to look over the lesson real quick. Or if you're familiar with the curriculum, you already know what you need. You just look at the title of the class and you know what props you need, right? The other thing I wanted to mention is VIPKid has fully changed my life, but it doesn't consume my life. What I mean by that is, to be totally honest with you, before VIPKid, groceries were really a difficult time for me, grocery shopping, because I had some WIC groceries that I could get, milk, fruits, vegetables, cheese, eggs. I could get a little bit of food stamps, like $90 a month. And besides that, we didn't really have money for groceries. So just being frank with you, VIP Kid has given me freedom to buy clothes for my kids, groceries for my family, and help my husband with the bills. We were behind on the mortgage so bad. Our 2 cars we had monthly payments on. Now we have our cars completely paid off. We got into credit card debt just trying to pay bills. And we've got our credit cards like mostly all paid off. We have like we're on our last one. We had like 2 or 3, and yeah. So and this job has changed my life, but it does not consume my life. So that's my advice to you. Don't allow this job to consume your life in a negative way. If you get negative 5 apples, not 5 apples. 5 apples aren't negative. Although I did get a negative comment with a 5 apple, and I was like, thank you for the 5 apples. I'll take the constructive criticism. What you have to do is, just like with life, when you get compliments or criticism, you have to pick out, what can I learn from this, right? If I get 1 apple and it says that I use too many props, then I know that if I ever get scheduled for that student again, that parent prefers that I don't use so many props. And maybe for my future classes, maybe I could not use like 1 million props, but maybe just like 10 to 12, right? So I'm a prop queen, okay? I only got that complaint once. If they say that I'm yawning too much in class, I can't drink coffee. I'm pregnant. I don't like coffee, but if they say I'm yawning too much, maybe I need to take an afternoon nap, fake it till I make it. Cover up my yawns. Take those 5 apples. Don't let it totally ruin your day. Don't let this job consume your life. And they mentioned in this Facebook post, they mentioned that student ITs really get to them. For me, the student IT, I'm concerned for the student. I try my best as their teacher, but I don't let it ruin my day. They have bad internet connection. I still get paid. Like, I don't let it totally ruin my day, but I do find it a little bit concerning when I have like 2 or 3 student ITs in the same day. I'm like, what's going on in China, right? I don't know, maybe bad weather. You never know. But yeah, don't check the cell phone app 1 million times during the day. You're not going to get bookings during the day 9.5 times out of 10, right? Danny's here and she's writing in the chat box. She said, I hope you have a good day. That's a great thing about this job. Do it and walk away. Exactly. I still hate spending so much on groceries, but yes, it's just nice to have money for groceries. When you've been 2-3 years without extra cash, it's so freeing to go to the grocery store and not have to count your pennies. You know what I mean? Hey, Kim. And VIP Kid has brought that to me. It's like, wow, I have extra money. I could go to the thrift store and like blow some cash on some props if I wanted to. You know what I mean? It's just like, I haven't, maybe it's because I've been with VIP Kid for a while, but I haven't let it totally consume my life. Is it a part of my identity? I think classroom teachers definitely, being a teacher is a part of your identity. I think it's become a part of my heart that I get to teach kids in China, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I honestly, as a stay-at-home mom, you sometimes feel a little bit like you're in prison. Not in a bad way, just a good prison, right? Let me explain. I love languages. I love culture. I love traveling. I love using my creativity to create things and make things. I love, collecting little props and stuff. And when I was just a stay-at-home mom, broke as can be, I couldn't travel. I couldn't study languages. I couldn't connect with people across the globe, and VIP Kid, in a way, has freed me. It's given me a little bit, let's say VIP Kid is a hobby that pays for me. I get to connect with kids in China. I get to, study a few Chinese words as a side hobby. I get to learn about Chinese culture. I get to live in America and have friends in China. I mean, they're just my students, but I feel like after teaching them so long, you get to know them. And I'm able to make little props and little rewards, and it helps fulfill me, which makes me a happier mom. And so if I don't feel like I'm imprisoned in being a stay-at-home mom, if I feel that I'm able to express who I am and be a creative person, I'm traveling the world through my computer every day. I'm connecting with other cultures every day, and I feel like maybe this job was invented for me. But I don't feel like that person who was saying, oh, this job is consuming my life, this job is maybe ruining my life. I think when you get to feel like that, you need to cut back on your hours. I realize financially some of us can't do that, but maybe figure out a better schedule. Like if you have to work a ton of classes, maybe schedule in some breaks for yourself. Make sure you go out to coffee with your girlfriends, get your nails done, whatever you need to do to still be you, to be a happy person. Don't let this job ruin your life, because this job could be something that makes your life better. So I guess that's kind of my advice to teachers who are new, that are feeling like overwhelmed that this job is maybe consuming their lives. Don't let it consume your life. Don't let it become a negative obsession, but let it be a hobby that pays the bills. Let it be something that, if you're a creative person, use that creative outlet. If you're a person that loves culture, lean into that. If you play ukulele, use that in class. Express yourself. I love that we have freedom of expression with this company, because they allow us to connect with our students and talk to them and use our own creativity. They let me use puppets and props and things that I like, and show pictures of my family and talk about family and talk about the zoo and talk about the park and have conversations with our kids and show cute little things to them. And it's so neat to see their faces light up, and I don't know, just to help them. And as you have regulars and teach them over time, you get to see their English improving. You get to see them learn how to read better. You get to see them learn how to converse better. You get to see shy students become confident students, and those ornery students start to be naughty, and you get to draw them back in, right? So, yeah. Teacher Kim said, sounds like burnout, find a balance. Exactly. When I was teaching like 8 classes a day, I got overwhelmed and I was getting up too early. I had to cut out 1 class each day. And then when I was teaching 7, I even cut back to 6. So it's a little less money. Yeah. But if you can be a happier, healthier mom and a happier, healthier teacher, that can sometimes be what you need. So that's my advice. Don't check the VIP Kids cell phone app a million times a day. It's not going to change. If you get a low Apple rating, take the criticism out of it that you can, try to learn something from the criticism, but also don't let it it's just like maybe it's because I dealt with playground bullies all of my life. Don't let the playground bullies get you down. I feel like sometimes on YouTube and with VIP Kid, the playground bullies are trying to get to me in adulthood, but I'm too mature for that. So move along, bullies. If you want to troll me, whatever. The thing is, I'm not a little kid that's going to get broken by bullies anymore. I'm an adult. And so if people want to criticize me, I'll take it with a grain of salt. I'm going to realize you are not my family member. You are not my best friend. So your opinion really doesn't matter a whole lot. If you don't like me as a teacher, move along. They might like a prop minimalist teacher better. They might like a more low-key teacher better. I tend to be more of a prop queen clown, and some students are looking for that, some aren't, and that's okay. That's why there's 60,000 VIP Kid teachers. They can move along and find someone else. Now, if they continuously book me and continuously give me 4 apples, like one mom did like 6 times, and they're giving other teachers in teacher to teacher, I saw other teachers were getting 4 apples, I will explain to that mom, please stop booking me or give me 5 apples, because 5 apples is very important. Some of these parents, they think 4 apples is a B plus, right? But for us, it lowers our rating. So just like take everything with a grain of salt, be thankful for what you have. Having this job makes me thankful that I live in America and that I don't have my government dictating what time I go to bed or how much internet I have or how much homework I have to do at nighttime. Oh my goodness. I'm thankful that I'm not a Chinese kid, right? I'm thankful that I'm an American adult. I have a lot more freedom. But yeah, anyway, I basically, a lot of you that are in the chat box, you're just joining in not too long ago. So basically this all started with someone posted on Facebook that they felt like VIP Kid was consuming their life in a bad way, in that it was becoming an obsession, or, you know, Christians might say it's an idol. I've seen posts on the Christian VIP Kid group that say like, do you guys feel like VIP Kid is becoming an idol? And for me, it's never been that, you know. For me, VIP Kid's never been first in my heart or first in my life. For me, it's how I pay the bills. It's how I pay the groceries. For me, it's a fun side job. I always say my full-time job is being a stay-at-home mom, but my part-time side gig is VIP Kid, and it pays the bills. So being a stay-at-home mom doesn't pay anything, but teaching VIP Kid does. So I look at it as I get to wake up while my kids are still sleeping, teach some classes, earn a paycheck, and then be a stay-at-home mom all day. So really, the all-consuming part of my life is being a mom. So I'm not consumed by VIP Kid because I haven't let it consume me. And I think that's true about everything in life, whether it be a hobby or a job or your role in someone else's life. You can choose whether or not it's all consuming, or whether it's just a hobby, or whether it's just a job, or whether it's just a role in someone's life. Don't let things consume you in a negative way. If something is consuming you and bringing you down and making you feel negative about your life, that's when you need to pull back and like get some balance. Whether it is scheduling in breaks, whether it is pampering yourself or doing something that you enjoy doing, finding time to get away. I don't know what to say to classroom teachers. They have an all-consuming job. And I'm thankful that I'm not a classroom teacher. I honestly couldn't handle being a full-time classroom teacher. If you're a full-time classroom teacher and a VIP Kid teacher and a mom, my hat is off to you. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how. Y'all are miracle workers, and I don't know when you sleep, but you must drink coffee. I couldn't be a classroom teacher. That's just who I am. I've been an ELL aide in the elementary schools. I love that because I got to travel around to different classes, helping small groups of students or one student at a time. But as far as running my own classroom all year long, that's a lot of pressure. And I'm thankful that I'm not a classroom teacher. That's just not a good fit for me personally. But all the more, I appreciate those of you who can do that, you know? So yeah, someone mentioned a referral in the chat box. I just got my third referral. Finally, she finally got to teach her first class. She got hired with VIP Kid in like February, but she's had some surgeries and stuff, so I don't know how much she's opened up bookings. But yeah, she finally taught her first class. So when she first got hired, I gave her $50 in faith that she would teach a first class, and I'd already been like, well, that was $50 to a friend, you know, who's struggling with her health issues and stuff, so whatever. But now my next paycheck's going to have $100 referral thing. So very cool. Yeah. Danny said, I'm an addict by nature and I care too much. Yeah. I've seen videos of people talking about having an addictive personality, and I've kind of self-evaluated myself, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I have an addictive personality, unless it's chocolate. Just kidding. But actually, things like that, I tend to not buy chocolate because I know that if I have a box of cookies in my house, I could potentially sit down and eat the whole box. And so for that reason, those are the things that I avoid. So I guess there are things that maybe are indulgences that are my downfall, but I try to avoid those things. But yeah, addictive personalities can be very dangerous. So I'm thankful that that's not necessarily my struggle. Well, I think I had one addiction. I don't know if you would call it that, but I'm gonna be real frank with you guys. So it's just me and the 6 of you guys listening, right? So from the age of 13 to the age of 25, I pulled out all of my eyelashes and eyebrows. It's kind of really weird. Sort of a nervous habit, sort of a way of self-harming without cutting. I'm one of those people that I definitely could have been a cutter if I had allowed myself to be one, but I didn't go down that route. But yeah, I always pulled out my eyelashes and eyebrows from 13 to 25. So I'm 31 now. I have really light eyelashes and eyebrows, but they're there. So anyway, it's because if you've seen my video about my childhood and the mother I grew up with and everything, it was like I needed an outlet for all the pain when I was the emotional punching bag for my mother and she had control over my life. I didn't know how to express that. So my way of expressing that was self-harm through pulling out my eyelashes and eyebrows, which sounds really weird and really crazy and really obsessive. But anyway, that's the one addiction that was a big struggle of mine. And the thing with addictions is people will tell you, well, why don't you just stop? And that's not how addictions work. It's not like one of those things where I could be like, oh, this was a really bad idea that I started when I was 13. Maybe I should stop. That's not how addiction works. Anyway, I don't think I have an addictive personality, but I definitely struggled with inner turmoil as a child and adolescent and young adult, mostly because of the parent that I grew up with. But anyway, I also wanted to say, this morning I got the message that my grandmother passed away. She was having kidney failure. She's in her 80s. We recently visited her because we knew she was in her final days. So it's kind of, again, it's kind of one of those things where I miss my grandma, how she used to be, but she was really suffering. So I would rather her be in peace than suffering. You know what I mean? But so when you see someone suffering so bad, when they do finally pass, it's not quite as tragic, especially since my mom died in her 60s. So when I have a grandparent that dies in their 80s, I look at it as they got to live 20 years more than my mom. You know what I mean? Which, is that an optimistic perspective? I don't know. But, okay, so this is kind of morbid. I'm getting off on quite the rabbit trails, but whenever I meet someone and they tell me their age and it's anything more than how old my mom was when she died at 63, a week before her 64th birthday. No, 62, a week before her 63rd birthday. Whenever someone tells me, oh, I'm 65, I automatically calculate in my brain, you've lived 2 more years than my mom. That's pretty good, or like, oh, I'm 85. Wow, you've lived 22 more years than my mom got to live. It's so morbid and bizarre. It's just one of those things when you have a close loved one die unexpectedly at kind of a not that old of age. It's kind of like, oh, wow. My mom, most of her life, was obsessed with not getting cancer and dying like her parents did. So she always tried to eat healthy. And when she cooked cookies, instead of using white sugar, she used molasses. She all the time used Splenda because we were told at the time that Splenda was so good for you, supposedly. And turns out it's just as bad as Sweet and Low for you. So go figure. But it just, so anyway, that's something that I don't really tell people, but when people say their age, in the back of my mind, I'm going, oh, you've lived 12 more years than my mom got to, and I think it's so kind of ironic and tragic that she spent her life working so hard not to get cancer, and cancer got her anyway. It's just kind of like, can't really prevent some things, and anyway, don't let worry consume your life. Obviously, eating healthy is good, but I wouldn't recommend Splenda. And maybe not eating as many cookies is better than eating so many. I tend to cook with brown sugar instead of white sugar. Brown sugar is healthier than white sugar. When we make juice, we use brown sugar, but yeah. Totally random. I've gotten really random with this video. Anyway, so I actually, in my last 2 classes, I only taught 3 classes this morning. It's Sunday. I normally don't teach on Sunday, but I went on vacation, so I need some money. So yeah, Danny said, yeah, brown isn't bleach. So yeah, that's the good thing. It doesn't have bleach, right? I mean, who wants to eat bleach, right? But in my last 2 classes, I wrote my normal feedback, everything I normally write, and then I put a couple of enters, and at the bottom I said, I apologize if I was distracted or sad in class today. I just found out that my grandmother passed away. So I wasn't sure whether or not I should tell them that, but I decided to say it at the very end after the feedback, just in case they wanted to give me a low Apple rating. I didn't want to have this sense of injustice that, oh, they didn't know what I'm going through, So I just said, if I seemed a little distracted or a little sad, it's because I just found out my grandmother died. So I'm not trying to get sympathy, but I'm just trying to give them a little bit of perspective of, this isn't normally my teaching style, but this morning's kind of hard, So at that, I'd like to share a couple of photos with you of my grandmother. This is when Esther was a baby. That's my grandma. So, and my dad. So this was right when my mom had just passed away when we went to visit my grandma this time. So this was, wow, she really deteriorated in a year and a half. This was a year and a half ago. Because she was doing well then, man. And then this is maybe 3 years ago when Deborah was a baby. We went to a park. And then this is kind of a sad photo, but this is our second to last visit with her. She was bedridden and had bed sores, and they had to, turn her and stuff because she was getting to the point she couldn't even get up and stuff like that. So that was my dad's mom. So my mom's mom died a year before I was born. Her name was Evelyn Jeanette. So my name is Evelyn, named after her. Both of my girl cousins have the middle name Jeanette, named after her. So all 3 of her granddaughters were named after her in some way. So I never met my mom's mom. My mom's dad was kind of a horrible person, and he passed away when my mom was in college. So I never met him. My grandfather, I helped take care of him the last 2 months of his life. My dad and I took care of him. That was when Esther was a baby. My first was a baby. So that was 4 years ago. And my grandmother, my dad's mom, just passed away. My step grandma, Grandma Ruby, she passed away when I was maybe 11 years old. So yeah, lost a few grandparents in my day. But you know what? The thing that it's weird, I feel like if you make it to your 80s, that's awesome, because a lot of people don't. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, Danny said she has a nice smile. Love grandmothers. Yep. So thank you, Tasha. Tasha said sorry for your loss. So anyway, I started this video off on a totally different topic, but I was talking about balancing VIP kid life. Basically, just to conclude that, sum up, don't let something consume your life that shouldn't. Whether it's a job, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a family member or a role in someone's life, don't let it consume your life in a negative way. If something is bringing you down, you need a break, or you need to schedule a break, or you need to pamper yourself or get away. You know what I mean? You need a breather. It's not always easy to do that. You need an outlet. So take care of yourself. Don't become overconsumed by something that isn't meant to consume you. Some people do yoga, like my friend Danny. I used to go to the gym. I would love to get back to doing that. That was a $50 a month gym that didn't have childcare. So I would love to join a gym that's less money and has childcare. So there's a church near me that actually has childcare during an exercise class, Zumba classes, Mondays and Thursday nights, and it's $2 every class session. So I really want to do that soon. I haven't done it quite yet, but I would like to try. That's all I have for you. I hope you have a lovely Sunday. I enjoyed taking Sundays off work for a couple months there, but now this month of September, we're doing the paint bucket challenge. So I'm teaching some PPT slots on Sundays, but that's okay. All right. Love you guys. Mwah, big hug. Hug the computer. Okay. See you later. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Give me a thumbs up. Thanks. Bye.